beautiful people, and welcome back. Can you hear us okay?
Can you hear
We
me?
are Violet Pathways, and we are finally here together. I know last night we teased you by making you think we'd be together, but Jessica was having internet problems, so
Can you hear me just fine? This is the first time I don't have the headset
I
on.
think you're still on mute.
Nope.
No?
Nope. Can you hear me or no?
Here, let me leave and come back.
No. It could be me. Can you hear me? It's the first time I'm painting today, so I don't have the headset on. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Okay.
So,
I'm painting, so I don't have the headset on today.
oh, that's okay. Jessica's in her painting vibe today. She's in her flow with that.
Wandy, just so you know, the website is new to me right now, and I just caught on that you purchased a pendulum, so I sent it out to you today. It is in the mail on its way to you, but I just want you to know I'm sorry for the delay. Usually I get them out way faster, but I didn't catch on until today.
So awesome. You're going to love it. I have 2 pendulums from Jessica, and they're my favorite ever.
Oh, she got the really pretty one. She got the rose quartz chakra one with the angel wing. And I blessed it for her, and it's all set up and ready for her. How is everyone doing? All these up and down emotional energies going on today. The Schumann report is off the chain. We've had some extreme energies coming in today, so that does play a part of it.
And the Schumann report, for those of you guys that are curious, is it's a chart and a frequency report in reference to the rays of the sun that are being emitted at this time. So, and the intensity of those rays, right? So, I had a whole day of tarot and readings. So today I kind of want to get more on the channeled side of things, more of the creative way of delivering and channeling messages for you guys. Keep in mind that I am fasting and I have had a very busy day. So if I seem a little off, that may be why. That might be why. But we are here and we're just going to have an open discussion, open the floor. It's hump day. It's Wednesday. We are halfway through this week. Whatever awareness we are available for, ready for, that is wanting to come through can and will and should come through. So just hang out with us, hold space with us, be here with us. We are so grateful to have you. I'm going to go ahead and say my prayer. Guides, angels, ancestors, ascended masters, beings of love and light, those that walk with us in God's glorious light of love. We thank you. We give thanks and celebration for the life that we are afforded to live, the beautiful time in which we have been incarnated, all of the abundance of awareness and sovereignty that we are being offered to step into now. Thank you. Please make way for Jess and I as divine messengers and as divine feminine, divine masculine union to come together in complete harmony and flow, as we always do, to deliver divine messages and to have conversations that are divinely ordained. Protect from any distorting energies and or intentions. We don't want any of that. Archangel Michael, please escort those entities or energies to a place of evolution or dissolution now. We only wish to receive from the heavenly realms. And with that we say, hallelujah.
Oh, amen.
Tired and dreams, peach moonshine. Hope you feel better. Love some moonshine. Who doesn't feel well? Are you guys talking about me? I'm fine. I'm fasting. So you guys, if you had $1 for every time I'm gonna say that, first couple hours are always the hardest. So I'm hoping, or I'm setting the intention to channel some messages. I've been feeling very channely lately, and I'm really inspired watching Jessica work with her left brain right now.
Just tapping into all these different frequencies that are today. I know I was like losing my mind crying to you earlier.
Yeah.
I've gone through some calming, peaceful time. I've had some major downloads.
Yes. I would love to hear about them if you're open to sharing them.
Well, the thing that I realized that the work that I do is some serious work. Like I'm really getting into people's brains. And by doing so, like I realized that there really are some tools that are necessary for you to know before so, right? Because as a healer, as a light worker, my only job really is to be here and hold a frequency to assist, right? Because in truth, we can only help ourselves. No one else can come in and fix things for us, no matter how badly they want to,
Yeah.
no matter how badly they desire that being something that they feel drawn to do. It's not going to work. It's like trying to get a drug addict to stop using drugs,
Yeah.
until that person is ready. It's not going to happen. So, as a healer, and one of my main things I really like to do is take people into the mind dungeon meditation that I created. And unfortunately, I cannot take anyone into the mind dungeon until they have body awareness, right? Because when I take you into the mind dungeon, I'm not allowed in the dungeon with you. I have to stay on the outside of the gate. All I'm there is to do is to shine the light on where your key is, help you remember that the key is within and only you can hold the key. Because here's the thing, I can't touch that key. And if you don't feel secure in that body awareness of knowing that, then you're not going to hear me when I'm trying to help you. You're going to get overwhelmed and lost. And I refuse to lose anyone in that meditation, right? So for me, I really realized that there's some key coordinate things that need to happen first, we talked about this earlier. These are going to be some of the videos that I'm going to be offering. Is first is breathing. Like seriously, guys, who here is still hyperventilating? And truth is when we're unconscious breathing, like that's what we're doing. We're not providing enough oxygen for our system, for our cells, for everything in our beings to work in a lighter frequency, right? We're keeping ourselves tight and congested and constricted was the word I was looking for. Um, so breath is a big part, right? But there's different styles of breath. I mean, you go on YouTube and there's so many different people
And
that
there's
teach.
there's different ways of utilizing it, and it goes. And I did a TikTok earlier today where I was talking about how a lot of the ascension that we've been experiencing in the earlier part of this ascension has been lunar, meaning it's been the individual, it's been karmic, it's been what's going on, what are you holding on to, what is your relationship with yourself, etc. So many of the conversations we've had. But it's also shifting and changing how we show up as light workers, where in the past we were happy to accept the role of being a party favor, a cool trick that I can pull out my gifts and be able to tell you what the next couple weeks or the next month is going to look like for you. Where now that's not the case. Like you said, now we're able to hold a space.
But even in that, like in our reality, you can kind of take that, what you just said there, and apply it to the same boundary conversation we've been having for the last couple of days, right?
Yeah.
How many times have you been shown that you actually have a tool, a gift,
Mm-hmm.
right? But you don't honestly give it the true validation credit that you do,
Yeah.
right? You see it as a parlor gift, some or trick, some kind of entertainment, right? And then you walk away from your knowing, you go to meet someone in the middle of something that you don't fully resonate with any longer, and then the first thing out of your mouth is, I knew better.
Yeah.
I knew better not to trust my intuition. Why didn't I listen to myself? And then
Mm-hmm.
you start in the shame, right? So you go from not listening to yourself. Let's turn your
I love it. It's so pretty, and I love how glossy.
camera is not giving it the like.
No, I've seen it. It's like a blue marble.
Yeah, I see it. Dolphin sea creature trying to form there. Um, Seahorse.
Mm. That's divination, my love.
Yeah. Um, so with about back what we're talking about, so breathing, right? A tool, right? So cards, a tool. How many times have we seen these things and just seen it as, I don't know, like not really giving it.
We've cheapened it
Yeah.
because we removed the sovereignty, right? Our job, my job, Jess and I's job, individually and together, is not to be the connection you have to your loved ones or to the divine. Okay. In the past, that
The
might have been
space in between.
understandable because
Yeah.
years and years ago, there may have been a time where um, the abilities and the connections and the openness was not as accessible to everyone. Whereas now it is very much so accessible to everyone. Organic evolution, organic, energetic evolution is available to everyone right now. And if you're fighting it, you're leaning more into addiction. You're leaning more into distraction. You're leaning more into things that are not um, leaving space for.
You're leaving things that are leaning into things that make you question your intuition, your
Mm-hmm.
authentic who you be. You're allowing others to come in and fulfill some part of your aura where you're not giving yourself the credit to do it yourself.
And I did that for so long. There was so long that I was on here, I was doing readings, and I kept feeling like, yeah, I'm serving the divine, but at the same time, my mind is always like, how are they receiving me? How are they receiving this message? What is, you know what I mean? And it has been a rewiring, because in everything that we do, we are programmed to look around and see, how is everyone receiving it? Am I getting a clap? Am I getting a standing ovation? Am I getting booed? Am I getting, what is happening?
And
Right?
we only give it like the recognition when others receive it.
Mm-hmm.
Depending
Yeah.
on how they receive it is when you give
Mm-hmm.
your own self validation.
And sometimes we're spoiled in the sense of, sometimes we have just a bunch of readings in a period of time, and every single one is impactful and powerful, and we're getting that return validation. Then you get that one reading where that person is completely rejective of the message, right? But it doesn't mean that we didn't do our jobs, that we didn't communicate exactly what the divine or what their higher selves, what was intended to be delivered, right? And I think that this doesn't just go for readings. This goes for all of your relationships, right? We get all wonky. This is what I was talking about in the video I posted today when I was talking about the collective conservatorship that we are each collectively and individually a part of. Where is it that you have invisible contracts where you place your sovereignty outside
Here's
of
the thing. Do you
yourself?
even know what an invisible contract is? So let's slow down. Hold
Mm-hmm.
on. Let's back up like 15 steps. So here's the truth, right? So truth is, Andy and I are quite advanced in this. Not like masters, but we are quite advanced in a lot of this because we have been in for a while. So a lot of times I found that we forget the beginning steps, right? And so that's what yesterday was really sitting with, you know, what to offer the collective as an awakening. What is my offering, right? So,
Mm-hmm.
what's my offering to be able to have a space that when people really are ready to reach out and do polarity clearings and mind dungeons and entity clearings and fragment things, like they've already done what work, because there is work that has to be done before you can get to that place, right? And so, breath, expansion. Do you even really know what expansion is? Like we talk about it, but do you guys truly understand what it is? And so it's like making videos of expansion. I see the conscious empathic expansion that I've learned, and I also see the chakra meditation that I came up with that helps balance that and expand you all the way out. You know, and so working with that, it's like, okay, so then make sure that we're able to offer this so they can find it on their own free resources, right?
Yes.
And connect into it on their own. So after expansion, you guys know, you've heard me talk about um, human design. The more and more I get into this, the more and more I realize I'm really here to help in the deconditioning
Yes.
of understanding human design, right? Because for me, understanding my design was what allowed me to understand what my open centers are, right? And so anything that comes into an open center, I know I'm amplifying that from someone else. So I can receive the understanding of the someone else that I'm amplifying. And then I can also turn around and have the immediate choice of removing everything all that is because it's not mine, right? And if it's not my energy and I'm amplifying it, I'm the only one that can say when enough is enough. So learning how to say when enough is enough, so we don't get this one's so
Yep.
we don't get lost in other people's stuff. And then it comes to the point of understanding your defined centers, and that's where our polarities are. So how can I do a polarity clearing if to me, you don't even understand where things you're lost in that aren't even yours?
Yeah.
And so there's this big clearing
I
of
mean,
being,
you could do a clearing, but at the end of the day, and honestly, you might disagree with me.
not with the work that I do, because it's
The
such a
polar, but right,
like,
but the polarity itself is, if you're not understanding that it even is a polarity yet, then
if
that
you
means
can't
that
feel
that you're still a student of that
if
polarity.
you can't feel your body heaviness, if that's the next one, would be, my name is
Right.
learning how to feel your light frequency. What does it feel like when your body's a full body yes? What does that
Yeah.
even mean, a full body yes? Well, to me, a full body yes means I'm about to float off to outer space because my body feels completely light, like so light, so expansive, so ready to receive whatever it is that's trying to come in, right? And then, like, body knows is that constricting feeling. And how many times before we had the awareness of these feelings did we make choices in that? How many times did we decide to
I
go with
I
the
got
thing
into
that's constricting?
I got into a lot of trouble growing up with myself and health wise because I wasn't aware, right? So the doctor would ask me like, "How long has this pain in your leg been going on?" Oh, I don't know. I don't know. Or do you have a headache right now? Or I actually, now that I think about it, I actually do feel really like a pain in my head right now. Why haven't I noticed that? Or like, hey, this, my point is that it can be incredibly easy to not have an awareness about these things. So it's not we're not saying, I can feel the frequencies of overwhelm sometimes when we talk about things, and what Jessica's just saying is that she is understanding that, she's seeing that, and therefore she's being called to service in a way where she can offer something to those that are not exactly at the place where they could even benefit from the work that she does yet, right? She can have these outlets and these things to help you get there and build up these facilities. But so many of you, I will also have to say, have been picking these things up little by little in your own way. You know what I mean? And really, it's going to be a process of you reintroducing yourself to what is it like to be committed to my breath for a week. What do I notice that's different, right? What is it
But
like?
that's the thing, it's not just being committed for a week.
Well,
What's
no,
it
but I mean,
like? But, but
we all have
truthfully,
we all have markers and things of times. You know what
yeah.
I mean? Like,
But these tools, but that's the truth though. These tools are not things that you use like whenever you remember. These
but
tools are things you use consistency. This is like the beginning of changing the lifestyle, right?
but in the
And that,
beginning, even just understanding how different it can feel, right? So just saying, I don't know much about this yet. I don't know what this lady's talking about, but you know what? I'm gonna commit to conscious breath for a week, and if I feel a difference, and if I can understand and feel a shift, then I'm going to continue to explore this.
right.
You know what I mean? And that's that exploration or experimentation aspect of things. And from a channel standpoint, the message that I've been getting a lot lately in all different kinds of forms and ways and different analogies is that right now truly is a time that all of our souls have been singing for, crying for, praying for generations. Our ancestors, right? This is a huge time and a shift, and that doesn't necessarily mean that all of your dreams are going to come true and everybody magically gets this lamp and then you get all these wishes. It's not about perfection. It's about a time of abundance from within. right? And a time of being able to have this awareness. Awareness is abundance. Being able to say, just as simple as this, right? Being able to say, wow, I've been having issues with my stomach for years and I've done nothing about this. And now I go to the doctors and they're telling me that I have a gluten intolerance. And now all I have to do to live a happier life is not eat gluten. That's awareness, and that awareness brings it brings in sovereignty, because you can choose that sovereign. You can still have gluten if you want to. That's your sovereign choice. But you understand that gluten doesn't serve you. You understand that hyperventilating and not breathing continues to exacerbate your survival frequency and puts you in a mind space, a mental space that you don't appreciate. That
Yeah,
that 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 actually takes
it
rather than gives.
doesn't work for you.
It doesn't work for you.
So start off as like a diet and learn how it really is something that's for a lifestyle.
Yeah. And I even want to say, like, you know we talked about this recently too, like the diet frequency and how that is um it's just not applicable to this. But sometimes we can be overwhelmed, right? There's a saying that I heard on a TV show recently. It's a disgusting saying, but I'm going to say it anyway. It's um don't get overwhelmed with how you're going to eat the elephant. It's an elephant, and you can't even imagine how all of that elephant is going to fit inside your belly. You start with one spoon at a time. You know what I mean? Like, you start with one piece at a time. So start with one piece at a time if you're overwhelmed. And many of you guys have been doing a lot of this work, right? But there's going to come a time where, and very soon, most likely, that a lot of the other things that a lot of the things that you're expanding upon in this work, they're not going to be initiated through us. They're going to be initiated through your own intuition.
Well, they can't be initiated through us. They have to be initiated through their own.
Well, no,
Because
but I mean, like, when
work.
they come.
But that's how you start realizing like how this really works. Because collectively, like there's a part of us that is kind of like programmed that this stuff you have to hire somebody to come and do it for you. It's easier to pass off that job. But that's the thing when it comes to this kind of work, it really does become a part of understanding that all this transformation that's truly happening, it's happening from within.
Yes.
It's happening because you're seeking out the people who have knowledge that can help you on your journey and take
Mm.
tools from that and add it to your own,
Yes, you're right.
experiment, right? Because the truth is this all happens within. I wish I could go in and just do a magic wand and it's totally safe and
Well,
fine, and I could fix you. But that's
what
not
I'm
the
referring to is when they come into our live, right? And they're open to receiving a message, and the message may be, hey, you may want to focus on your heart chakra, right? This needs work, right? You've done all of then you've gotten a message about aligning your chakras. Maybe you've gotten a
But
message
how
about.
much is that actually validating your own intuition? Because
Right.
that's the thing. In the beginning, you have your own drop ins, but you
Yes.
don't trust it. So then
Yes.
you hear someone else say the same kind of thing that's already been dropping in, and then you're more likely to
Hmm.
receive it. How many times have that happened with me and you? And you're
Yeah.
like, are you serious? I've been telling you this for how long? And this one person says it to you, and all of a sudden you get it. Because for the deconditioning of this stuff, it's that that knowledge doesn't lie within, it lies with outside of me. And until I can find that knowledge, I can't understand how to make it happen within me. And that's what this is learning, that
Yeah.
really truly it's already happening within. You just have to build up your validation of yourself.
Well, we tend to sensationalize, or even putting other people on a pedestal, right? We're assuming that their experience when it comes to their intuition, you guys may assume, if you put us on a pedestal frequency, which we've continuously asked you not to do, right? If you have, and you've watched us read, right? Or you've watched us get into deliver in tune channeled messages, part of you wants to believe that there's something happening with us that isn't present with you, and that's simply not true, right? We just delved into the experience. We began to differentiate the nuances of energies and receiving.
We
We
trust what we're getting from the ethers.
and we've
That's different.
exercised those muscles.
We trust what we're getting from the ethers without allowing our human to come in and second guess us. We've learned a way to not allow the mind dungeon, the mind prison guard, to come in and confuse. And when it does, then we also have been able to be allotted a space where you can go and be in that, infinite space of be and receive what you need to receive so you can go to the next level and not get lost in the auto reprogram.
Yes. And with that being said, if you're feeling like you are desiring a channeled message with us today, we're not. I'm assuming since Jess is painting, she's not pulling cards. I'm not pulling cards. We are just going to flow with the receiving of what we get. This is something that might be a little bit different because I don't think we've ever done a live where both of us are just channeling, and I'm into it. So if you're feeling Sumi, actually, I feel drawn to you. I'm going to tune into your energy. And if you want of a more in-depth reading or you want more time being spent on you or more guaranteed reading, feel free to donate. Whatever you feel is right. However, we are grateful for your presence and holding space for yourselves and sharing the space with us.
I would say, Sumi, where do you have auto programs coming in trying to mess with your self-worth? I see a heart that's trying to explode in this picture. Where is it that you're not riding your wave, your emotional wave? Like, where is it that you're trying to resist that?
Yeah, I agree.
Something.
If I want to bring that further into story, I'm kind of feeling the same thing, but I'm feeling something very specific, and this is going to relate to what you are communicating. It has to do with who are you doing this for? Is what Spirit wants me to ask you. Who are you doing this for? Are you doing this to prove everybody wrong? If so, when your heart gets weighed, it's not going to be light. Are you wanting to prove other people wrong? Are you doing this for the success that is going to make everybody turn around and say, we were wrong about Sumi? We were wrong about her. And if that's an intention and an outcome that you're hoping for, you can't get to where you want to go from there. So think back to what Jessica said. She said it very simply, energetically. I think that there are some deeper subconscious things there in reference to wanting to prove or improve.
It's just a self-worth stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Solar plexus. Solar plexus, and where is it that you're still not truly able to give yourself the credit that you deserve to give yourself?
Yeah. We all get the credits, darlings. Just like the divine said in my video.
And the more you remind yourself you're doing it for you, when these auto programs try to come in and make you choose something different, or you feel this like energy of like, I need to choose something different, remind yourself you don't. You're doing this for you. So everything that's you, expand into that. That's what I would say on that.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna go for Wandy, but let me pour the paint. You go ahead and read.
Yeah. In my video today, I said we were talking about the conservatorship, the collective conservatorship, and Spirit was like, I don't know about you guys, but I wasn't present. I didn't sign no dotted line for no contract, for no birth certificate, for no uh, Declaration of Independence or Constitution. We didn't sign that. Like our sovereignty, right? The agreements, the things that we get into. I don't know why this is for you, Sumi, and this is for everyone. The things that I guess you could just go back and say invisible contracts, right? We never really got a chance to define them. But an invisible contract is an agreement that is not in writing, that is
It's an
not exactly
agreement of an action. Invisible contract is an energetic contract. It's a contract from you doing something out of kindness most of the time. It's something that the other person could have done for themselves, but you chose to exert your responsibility in that.
Yeah.
And now you're held to that responsibility without even being asked just because of the actions of your past.
Right.
So if you go pick up the newspaper for someone and all of a sudden they now expect you to pick up
Yes.
the newspaper for them every morning,
Yep.
that is a perfect example of an
And then
immature.
your self-worth gets wrapped up in that, because then you're like, well, I
I
am a
can't go
person.
on vacation because this person expects me to pick up their newspaper every day.
Yeah, and they're and I admire that they respect me or they're nice to me, and I don't want that to end.
Ooh, yeah, your self worth is being fed by that.
Mm-hmm. So that,
Even
thank
though you
you.
may have resentment in it too. So
But
that
Spirit is saying that was not part of the agreement. That's not part of the divine is saying to you, Sumi. That's not part of our arrangement, right? Your arrangement as a co-creator with us, the divine, you and us. That is not our agreement. So you're really untangling, and you've done a lot of it, but there's some places where it's still present.
there's always going to be some of it still there. Like truth,
Mm-hmm.
guys. I don't think until we're monks or going to pass that we finally clear it all out. It all comes out at different levels. We can't we couldn't handle it all coming out in the beginning. Just like now, as things happen, then we're able to see things that maybe we weren't meant to see until this point in our life. So be gentle on yourself too, and understanding that there's always going to be something to clear. Because that's the truth.
Wandy, I gave you a message earlier.
When my painting is
They're
done.
bringing it up. They're bringing it up again. Just a continuation of that message, really. And that is that there comes a period in your life, in your lives. Many times this period comes where there is introspection, there is awareness, there is a light being brought to the most darkest places, and you're throwing a duster over the most dusty corners in your own inner consciousness. And then it's time to bring all of that out, to execute, to become a student, not only a student in receiving and absorbing, but a student in creating, a
Self
student.
gratitude.
Mhm.
I'm not cutting you off. I'm just
No,
adding.
you're a student of in creation. There's a different side of the coin of the student that you're stepping into. It's the student of experimentation. It's the student of what works for me. I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try, and if it works for me, it works for me. It's claiming your peace and your sovereignty. Not
Trying new
every
things without
aspect.
getting lost.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Not every aspect of ascension and awakening has to be this arduous process. Sometimes it can be a glorious moment of, I think I deserve an ice pop right now. So even if I have to get in the car and go get me an ice pop, I deserve that. And I'm going to go ahead and offer myself that. It's a silly example, but it's simple. And that is a match to the frequency of which you are stepping into, right? Sometimes prioritizing ourselves over others feels selfish and wrong. But when we are deprogramming and detangling, sometimes it is that focus on the self that allows us to maintain that process. And sometimes it's that focus on yourself and what's going to make your life, what's going to make your path flow with ease. And sometimes we feel like we need to wallow through the shifts and the changes because it's hard. Sometimes we feel like it's natural to cry every night about something, right? But maybe that's not what you're being asked of right now. Maybe you're being asked to offer yourselves some relief, all of you, right? And we're not talking about the instant gratification kind of relief. We're talking about the tools that you have so readily available to you, even if it's as simple as a nap. Even if it's as simple as walking away from a draining conversation because it's becoming gossipy and you know that that energy drains you. It could be as simple as, I'm going to leave the air conditioner on overnight because I deserve it. And
I
it's
see. I see trusting to be able to share from your crown third eye through manifesting in your throat. So what you're saying about the dreaming, that makes sense too, because how many of these things do you think it once and think it more than once, and you start manifesting it? So if you're lost in dark thoughts, right, then you're manifesting the things you don't desire. So in this painting, there's a lot of dark purples, and then there's the lighter shades, but then the blues. And I'm really feeling like crown,
Mm-hmm.
trusting in crown, third eye, and throat chakra to be a team.
Feel Good posted something not too long ago where he was saying, train your spirit to be faster than your mind, because those thoughts can start firing, bringing you somewhere you don't want to go, right?
Mm-hmm.
But if
Especially if you're amplifying somebody else's headspace because you're
Mhm.
open.
but when you learn how to bring it back, right? I don't have to be here. I can take a second. I can choose to be selfish in this moment, and wherever I'm entangled in self-worth of choosing that choice, right? I'm gonna do this for me, and I don't really care. I'm sorry, like if that bothers you, or if that upsets you, if you feel like that is an unfair arrangement. But at this time, I have to choose this for me, so I'm doing this thing,
I
right?
feel it's more keeping, yeah, like, because what I'm seeing in this is like, I don't know if you can really tell, but it looks
Yeah.
like one is very calm, kind of storm, and then here's like a whirlpool, like all over. So it's like, how do you keep we were talking about this too, how do you keep the balance between the analytical and the emotional? You know, which one are you amplifying? And maybe some of you are amplifying both, and
But
that's
Wandy, why are you always the giver, right? Jess, like why you say I'm always the giver, working on that. The
I would
question
say
is
because she's
why.
an open G.
Mm-hmm.
You're an open G center. You don't know where you belong. So you over give, over to, and honestly, too,
You're buying the space that you feel you take up.
and it's also that's also syndrome of toxic empath.
Mm-hmm.
Toxic empaths, we overgive. We
Mm-hmm.
completely overgive because we feel this like lack frequency, and we feel like if we're kind then they'll be kind, but then also when we get overgive, then we also put out an expectation. So truth, are you giving out expectations, even if it's just an energetic expectation, right? So that would be a wonky solar plex. It could be also amplified open G center, could be amplified open ego.
we we already pay more, like so many of us, not me, but so many of us already pay mortgages and rent. We do not need to pay for the space we take up. We do not need to rent it either. Okay, we don't need to anymore. And I'm not saying this in frustration. I'm saying this in like in matter of factness. You know what I mean? Because I feel like we, when Jessica says toxic empath, feel into that. You're being toxic to yourself, and you're allowing the way in which you relate to others to be at the detriment to yourself.
But two, I also feel is because we didn't have the knowledge, right? So
Yeah.
that's why the videos that I'm going to create is really, I feel like the beginning of truly understand how to detoxify your empathic feelings, right? Because if you connect into breath, I'm going to tell you, for me personally, breath was the number one changer. The conscious breath in through your nose,
Breath gives speed to your
holding it,
spirit to exceed your mind.
and that audible exhale, I mean, that is a game changer. It
Mm-hmm.
has been for me. So again, don't take what I say, to heart. Experiment. Try it for yourself.
For me, I think, now that now, I don't know why spirit is showing you this. It's like that breath is that saving grace.
Yeah.
Yes, she said definitely focus on breath. Yes, the breath is what allows you to give fire and momentum to your soul, your spirit within your vessel at that time, and your mind, your tiny, tiny, tiny mind, is then going to lose momentum, right? And when that balance is back right again, then you have the awareness. Hey, right? You might be walking through work all day, being at work, being in your space, not realizing that you're already walking around apologizing for the space you take up.
Yeah. Energetically.
Mm-hmm. And what does that allow other people to do?
Dominate.
Sometimes, mm-hmm,
Submit you.
mm-hmm.
Because you're not walking around like any kind of dominant.
People are just like dogs sometimes.
Most times. And
Most
cats.
times.
The cats too. You know,
Mm.
a scared dog snaps a lot. Same with the scared cat.
We'll hide.
Yep. Well, they also can get very nasty too. You know, and
Samantha, we are so happy that you're here.
yeah.
Thank
You
you.
know, and the
Samantha,
thing,
Samantha's new, and she said, "I don't know how I found y'all, but thank y'all for the message." Of
you know,
course.
but you know, and then so for me, it would be breath, right? And then I would say next would be human design knowledge, right? So if you know your birth time and your birthplace, again, I'm going to make videos of this, but I'm just going to kind of recap what these videos are going to be about. You can go to mybodygraph.com and get yourself a free chart of your human design, and you can start experimenting, you know, find out what your strategy and authority is. I'm a manifesting generator, the emotional wave, and a defined sacral and a defined throat chakra. So what does that mean? Well, it means that main things, big decisions, I have to sleep on it. Not just sleep on it, I have to live a 24-hour period of yes, and then I need to live a 24-hour period of no. And then on the third day, I get to ask myself, is this something for me? And really feel, you know, my lightness. Wandy, the site is my MYBOD as in dog, Y, graph, GRAPH.com. And it is free. You just need to have your birth time and birthplace to get the appropriate knowledge. But because I'm a
And if you don't, if you still didn't get it, just come back after this
no,
video is posted. And
actually, neither one of us read birth charts. We are just giving
no,
assistance.
I'm not saying that. I'm saying come
I
back
know,
to
but Ashley
47.
asked that, so I
Oh, okay.
wanted to make sure we clarified that.
Yeah.
No, I am not a professional in human design. Let me clearly put that. No, I am not an astrologer. I
But
wish I
that's the
was
point
that
too.
cool.
It's like you guys be very wary in our opinion, in our experiments, be very wary of individuals who offer everything under the sun. Okay, we're not here to be a Walmart, right? When it comes to, we understand that there's a lot of lanes and there are a lot of other beings
Yeah,
and people here that are really excellent at different things. And why would we want to? That's that hoarding. That's that I need all the land. I need all the clients. I need all the people. It's not really what we're about. That's not
yeah.
the frequency we choose to play in.
No. So I would recommend, like, if you guys really want to get in deeper about human design, again, I will be making a video of this and posting all this information. But you can go to Eric's ERIK apostrophe S. It's on here on Facebook. Eric's Group of Wonderment, and in there he has one of the what do you call those, Andy? One of the
Modules.
something like that.
Yeah, it's split up so that you can learn the different things in there.
Yes, and he gives it all for free. And then if you were like, I really need to know more about that, Eric is the person to get a private human
Yes.
design reading. Or if he recommends, I think Pamela's doing it now too. She's also super awesome.
Well,
Um,
what Jess and I, we both have our own individual paths as well as our group together, right? And we both define our contribution a little bit differently. But I would say that us together, we are shepherds of you. We're shepherds of the path to the I am frequency. And anyone who is ready to take it and willing to take it with their own dang feet, we will walk that path because we're already walking it. So we'll you know what I mean? So we are here to help you in your
assist.
empowerment, right?
We will assist you in guiding. Like we'll be like we're like the librarians.
Yes. I
If we
love
can
that.
help you, then we'll be more than happy to help you. If we can't help you, then we will make sure you get to the right department and you can find someone there that is very knowledgeable and can help you in that. Because truth is, we're, yeah, trying to be a master of it all. Like, oh my gosh. No,
Oh yeah.
right? So human design would be next. Then I would go into expansion, right? So I'll be making those videos. And then like being in an expanded state, being in an expanded state just really helps you connect into your I am, your infinite state of be, really starts allowing you to build your intuition, right? Yeah, but it's Erik, not C. He's not a C. He's a K. But yes, thanks, Wandy. I see that. Eric's Group of Wonderment on Facebook. He is awesome. Like for me personally, I'm gonna say like the biggest thing, human design just gave me my design. It helped me understand me. And the more I was able to understand me, the more it was just like this guide to help me decondition, right? Because in my next calling, is not next. Reiki is my absolute love. Like I love Reiki. That was the first language of energetics that I understood, and then conscious awareness I felt was very amazing too. But there was something about once I got the knowledge of human design, it really gave me that like understanding of what I can instantly clear out that's not
Yeah.
mine, and what I'm going to have to spend some extra time and maybe even pay for some help with, like getting into these polarities because they are mine and they're generational mine. And, like I don't really know how to clear that. So, those kind of things. And
We
that's
all
why,
have we all have our own individual unique assignments. And a lot of that has to do with periods and times of empowerment and awakening where you are realizing more and more about who you are.
totally.
And then there are times where you have these aha moments that are built on the foundation of things like conscious awareness or human
Spirit
design.
guide. Oh, you see that
See what?
in the middle? Do you see the spirit guide
Yeah, I do.
with binocular, or what's that called? What's
Like a
let's
telescope.
Yeah, but it's yeah,
Yeah, I see it. He looks like he has got a lot of hair too.
searching out new lands.
Mhm.
Or is that a dragon? Just checking out
To
the
me, it
white rabbit.
looks like a chipmunk,
Chipmunk.
or it looks like Cubone from Pokemon.
Ooh, oh wow! Watch this. It goes from like Peter Pan feeling. I'm getting like Captain Hook with the spyglass thing. I think that's what it's called, the spyglass. And
It's a
then you
spectacle.
go this way and look, there's Windy flying.
Oh, there's a lady spirit flying with two children.
Ah, I love it.
I know. This is why I love this art. Snoopy, Samantha sees Snoopy. But
Yeah,
what I was getting at, what I was saying was like,
sorry.
there's gonna come points where you have these aha moments, right? Where you are learning these things, and it's like, wow, I didn't know that I'm more open and susceptible um, to people's emotional waves, right? And I'm learning this through conscious awareness or through human design, right? Whereas later on, there might be there's all these other awarenesses that get you further and further into knowing yourself, knowing what works for you, what doesn't, how to navigate certain situations, why you get lost in certain situations. And we all have our own bounty. We all have our own um, ancestral karma to work through. We all have our own karmic path. We all have our own desires and pleasures. We all have our own, right? So expecting anybody else to be able to walk you all the way there or to be able to open that door, that's A, the instant gratification thing, and B, it's robbing you from the glorious process of how good it feels to reveal yourself layer by layer by layer by layer.
And it's just like too holding space for somebody to love you more than you love yourself, right? And it doesn't work. People match up to how much you love yourself.
That's very profound, Jessica, because think about it. When you are allowing someone else's opinion of you to supersede your opinion of yourself or to influence your opinion of yourself, then you actually are showing that you love that person more than you love yourself.
Exactly. You validate
Oh my
their
God, that's the
opinions
pedestal
more than yourself.
frequency. You're loving someone else more than you love yourself. That's the pedestal frequency, putting someone on a pedestal.
Thinking that their knowledge isn't more validated than your own.
Thinking that their connection is more sovereign than yours.
Yep. In all reality, maybe it's just getting to the point of learning how to connect into that with yourself. Maybe you just needed the energy that space that person holds to understand what that means for you.
I think this was such a beautiful, expansive conversation and channeling between the two of us. I'm feeling complete. How are you feeling, Jessica?
Not yet. I wanna Ashley's in here and she's
Yeah.
one of our Ashley's been hanging with us since the beginning of this, so I wanna pull some paint on a painting for her real quick and see what I get.
Ooh, I love this new divination you're doing. Well, it's not new to you, but it's new to us watching.
I think it's so messy.
Hmm.
I like honestly like when I do this around my daughter, she's like, "Mom, you're so messy. Why can't I get messy?" I'll clean up my mess. Don't worry. Clean up your mess. You could be messy too.
Wandy, she's actually drafting a oracle deck with them. She has many, 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 many paintings.
Yeah, and I'm gonna be selling them to be honest. So if there was a painting, I'll be posting them later. These ones I feel like I should offer to whoever's watching. So when they dry, I will take pictures of them and let's say $25. If you want one of these, I will charge you 25 and you pay the shipping, which will probably be like $7. Shipping these days, the gas is crazy, so we should be lucky that it's only $7.
Mm-hmm.
Bondi,
I
please
just
make
did a private session with Ashley, so I'm all tapped out with Ashley for today.
please make sure you let me know when you get your
Good job.
beautiful pendulum. Ashley, Ashley, Ashley. So with Ashley, I see a bunch of sound spears. Let's see, it's almost there. Hold on.
Yeah. You yes, you did wear me out, Ashley.
But he's also fasting, so
Yes. Well, it's an inside joke. Her and I wearing out anyway.
okay. Just didn't want it to be like you heard me out.
No, no, she knows that. I was telling her that she just gives me a run for my money sometimes because she's very like, uh, her intellectual, her mental space can.
She analytical matches you, right?
Yes, exactly. And then sometimes she tries to lead me down a path I know I don't want to go down, and I'm like, wait. Thank you
That's
for putting
funny.
words to that for me.
I think that's funny. So Ashley, what I would say is Mary Magdalene's trying to get to you.
Mm-hmm.
I feel Mary Magdalene. I feel sound spears. Let's see. Camera's not so good. So with this pink, I'm really feeling Mary Magdalene. She likes to come up and do her neat colors like that. Feeling like there's a past life um, fealties and commitments that you're untangling now. something about new birth, the birth of something. Something is being birthed that's gonna have like a lot of energy. So people, isn't she pregnant?
Yes.
Okay, so that makes sense.
Well, because I think I love it. I love it when she like. I love it when you say things that are. Anyway, go ahead. That came up
So
for
what I see is that when you're pregnant, you're gonna, well, not when you're pregnant. After you have the baby, there's gonna be a lot of people pushing opinions on you. That's where all these sound spirits. These are polarity things. These are things that they went through, so therefore they turn around and do it to you. Don't get lost. There's something about connecting in with Mary Magdalene. I also feel Metatron in this a lot. There's a lot of dark purples around the, you can't really, dark purples around the pinks. So I really feel Archangel Metatron and the Christ conscious spirit frequency of Mary Magdalene are with you. There's somebody cloaked in her energy too.
it.
You see that?
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, you can't
No.
really.
Yeah. I see it. I see it.
It's like someone around you is cloaked, so there's this dark energy coming in, but like you'll have awareness. See, it's in between. Archangel Metatron and Mary Magdalene is in between, so you have the protection, but they're on the outside. And when the birth happens, there's going to be a lot of this energy, and you're going to have to choose: do you feed it and feed this cloaked frequency, or do you stay in your Christ conscious?
In all honestly, Ashley, you're feeding it now, right? And this is what came up a lot. I know I said I was tapped out, but your message just brings such a beautiful layer to it. Um, you what you're doing now is you're feeding into it. You don't even realize you're doing it. You're feeding into the sound spirits already. Why? Because you have your ears to the ground for them. Imagine when they're coming at you from all directions, right? And what I mean by that is like you're constantly focused on what everybody else is doing, how everybody else is responding and reacting to what you're going through, how the ending of the story is going to go, what this person feels, right? And you keep giving excuses to yourself. Oh, I don't care about him. I just want to know for this reason. Or I don't care about her. I just want to know. No, you are invested in the outcome involving them. And therefore, like I said, you have your ears to the ground for these sound spears,
Because
right?
it's tied in the solar plex.
When you said Mary Magdalene was trying to get to her, or not get, that sounds
No,
creepy.
she's there. She's
She's coming
guiding her.
through. What the specific words you said is like she's Mary Magdalene is trying to get to you, right? That's what you said earlier. And
Okay.
what I got from that was that, and what I got earlier is that, my love, you sometimes we intellectually understand what's being offered to us in a reading or a healing, when in reality our body, yes, hasn't caught up to that. So therefore, this is why you've been advised: step away from the distractions, listening to things, watching things. Sometimes when you can't just sit in silence and be in your own energy, it's a sign of your own resistance to awareness.
And thank you on that note. Thank you everyone who allowed me to connect in and play with.
Jessica, you can't say goodbye from over there. You got to sit back down and say goodbye.
Thank you to everyone who let me connect in and play with paints and your energy. It was so much fun. Ashley, you got this. Just breathe.
Yeah.
Again, breathe. Like seriously, breath is what helps expand us. And I will work on these videos and get them out. YouTube said I had to wait 24 hours, and then I haven't decided if I'm just going to put them in YouTube, or I have a private group that's called Keys to Ease and Intuitive Friends. I might be putting them in both, so I just really haven't figured out that part. That's Andy's part, but
Oh, we love you guys. Thank you for flying Violet Pathways. The seatbelt light is now off, and you may now move about the cabin. And we leave you in your divine light of the divine creator.
And if you do want one of those paintings that when I was creating, drop me a DM so that way I remember, because I got some crazy stuff too. I gotta go tell my grandma that we have to pay $10,000 for air conditioning. So traffic
Okay.
limit and
Yes.
not river.
And
And
before we
what do we have
forget,
there?
we have our mastermind starting July 1st. If you are wanting a
July
beautiful
8th.
July 8th, excuse me. If you are desiring to understand how to utilize your gifts using the tool of tarot while also holding a awareness and allowing conscious awareness to serve your tarot reading and vice versa, your tarot reading to serve your awareness of yourself, we are doing a 1 month mastermind from July 8th to August 8th. It is $222 and we have 4 seats left. I repeat, we only have 4 seats left. If that excites you, if that tickles your pickle, if that bakes your beans, if that gets you going good,
If that makes you feel light and like something
pretty
that
it's
will help
exactly
you.
that. Yeah, exactly that. I was just being silly. I love you guys. We are going to leave now. Goodbye.